Welcome back to another Dynodaze video. As you can see, a Civic Ep3 in the house today for a remap. It's arrived with a couple of teething issues, so the team are busily getting ready to rectify those, and then we're going to get tuned in. ECU exchange and map. Here we go. Civic Ep3.
It is a Civic Ep3.
Mapped up well, this one, didn't it? After you had to rectify a few little niggly issues.
Yeah, to be fair, he said he's a joiner, and like with all other tradesmen, they decide that they want to be a mechanic. You know, but a mechanic, you know, everyone's a mechanic till the real mechanic turns up.
Well, he gave it a go and ended up having to pay an hour's labour, didn't he? So
yeah, I got an inlet manifold bolt not in, which was sitting down the fan cowling, which said I've travelled 2.5 hours, so it may be there, it may not be there, but it was still there. Trapped in the fan cowling, and it got an injector seal blown out. Obviously, saying it was idling, funny, and it was up and down on the idle. Well, yeah, I've got to get an air leak from the injector. I would imagine that bolt being out was also an air leak, so we did that, and adjusted the throttle stop on the throttle body, which is also an issue. So three little issues, nothing major, admittedly. You know,
the parts he had fitted were the Skunk2 Ultra Series Inlet Manifold, Skunk2 throttle 70mm throttle body, velocity stack
induction kit, I think a Japspeed 4-to-1 and a HKS exhaust system.
Yeah. Well, I did say to him, I says, what you're presenting me here is what I'd look like if I did a bit of joinery work. Is what I said to him. You know what I mean?
Yep, I'm not building no sheds.
Mechanical, it seems to be the only trade where someone says, I ain't paying that, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas if I was building if I wanted to build an extension on my house, I'd be paying someone.
He did get 95% of it done, though.
He did get 95% of it.
So yeah, well done. And if you've got a Honda passion, I think people want to turn a spanner to their own car, don't they? I think that's it. I've learned from my own experiences
don't do that.
I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't build a house either. But there's lots of things.
It's back to one of them things. I think like. I've got family out in New Zealand, and everything that they do out there has to have a certificate, so it has to be signed off. And I do really believe that's to be fair, that sort of thing should happen here.
Well, there's
because
definitely...
it's not. What you're saying is that there's a qualification and a skill to do this job, and someone that's not qualified and skilled is doing that job, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But like say, for example, if you're doing gas work at home, someone has to sign it off. All these other trades and skills.
It can be dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I seen a video on Facebook only this week where a guy had all 4 injectors on his K20 just pouring
fuel out.
Literally under pressure, firing fuel all across his engine bay, all up into the air.
Yeah, could have easily been a fire at any point.
Yeah, and so obviously if he'd have started that and had a look before he drove it, he'd have seen that.
He'd have seen it was bad.
But he was broke down on the side of the road with fuel running all under his car, all over the place. That could have been a catastrophic. That would have been the death of an EP3, and hopefully not the death of a young lad. But I
definitely think it would help. It would help the modified car scene. The modified car scene gets a bad name, and sometimes it gets a bad name, doesn't it? Not saying this car was the issue, but I'm saying it gets a bad name in general because bad modifications get done. And then the cars get sold, don't they? And they're not up to standard and all the rest of it. What I'm saying is, if it had to be certified, then people could still have a go themselves. For the people that want to do it and are capable, like
get
this,
themselves to college.
Like this young man. Then obviously it could be then signed off and done. And then obviously in the same respect, if someone hasn't got a clue, well then it wouldn't get signed off. So therefore, you know what I mean? You wouldn't have a dangerous car on the road. I just think it is about time in this country that we acknowledge modifications, and they should need checking off.
Absolutely, brakes and suspension.
Yeah,
without a doubt, absolutely brakes and suspension.
Anything in New Zealand, even if you fit an induction kit, it has to be signed off, and you have to have a certificate for it. If you get pulled over, you have to be able to prove that you've had it installed, it's been signed off, and it's up to standard.
That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of safety sense, and ultimately, it doesn't matter how fast your car is if it's falling to bits.
No.
But this one isn't that car.
No, sorry. That was off on a rant and a tangent. This car's mint, but just it was a...
This car has done really well, and it's tuned up today really nicely, and he's got all the parts in the right place.
I think we finished on 240. I think it made some reasonable power when we started, about 220. Obviously with all the mods on, and then obviously we've tuned accordingly. We made some really good power. Real nice, smooth linear graph. I'm sure he'll be really, really happy with that.
Well, he's got a couple of hour drive home, so fingers crossed he loves it.
He will do.
Let's look at the graph.
Let's have a look at the graph.
Well, there she is. Say it with me, guys. Red line as she came in, blue line is as she leaves. And a very successful morning. After fixing some little niggles at the very start, we finished on 239.8 brake horsepower. I'm calling that 240. Over 200 at the wheels. Really happy with that. Lovely car. Customer is deciding to do a bit of paint on it at some point to tie it up, but it is his passion, so he's in the right place. If you guys have got an EP3 and you need any help, give us a shout, pick up the phone or drop us a message. We'd be happy to help, and we'll see you all on the next one, won't we, Richard? We will indeed.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast.